How the hell did they get past us is what I want to know.
Hey people, it is Saturday, November the 23rd. The time is 3:31 in the afternoon. And it is currently about 8 degrees Celsius. Feeling a bit colder though with this chilly wind we have going on here. And I'm at the corner of Front and Yonge. And it's very busy around here. Tonight is the last night of Taylor Swift's tour, which had 6 shows taking place in Toronto. So this will be the last you see of any Swifties for probably the foreseeable future. But I'm not going to be walking through Swiftie Ground Zero for this video. I'm going to make my way up into the entertainment district, as it formerly was known as. I think now it's just being called West Downtown or something along those lines. And I thought I'd just take a walk up and down various streets in that neighborhood, which has undergone tremendous growth in the last 10-15 years in terms of new towers, mainly residential towers. And it remains a entertainment heavy area despite the name change. A big chunk of Toronto's theatre district is along King Street. And many bars and restaurants. And hotels are in the area. As well as Roy Thompson Hall right there. It's a concert hall home to the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. So let's start on Wellington Street here. You could argue also that even Front Street around the CN Tower entrance and the aquarium and the Sky Dome area are part of the entertainment district. Although to me, it's really the areas north of here that are the heart of the neighborhood. And some of the hotels here are quite luxurious. Here you have the Ritz-Carlton. But others are much more affordable. I think there's even a budget hotel or two in the neighborhood. I think all the hotels in the city are probably booming right now due to the concerts. And no doubt they've jacked up their rates to gouge the tourists as much as possible. It's another new hotel right over here that I don't think has opened yet, or maybe it just recently opened, called Nobu. Construction has just wrapped up in the last month or so. We'll take a walk past there. It's on Mercer Street. It's a twin tower development. One tower being the hotel, another tower being a condominium. Can I make it? I don't feel like running. We'll cross here.
Oh yeah.
And you can see the Sky Dome just to the south. That's ground zero for the concert tonight. Toronto Poets Department. A little poetry on the sidewalk for you there. All right, so we'll go a little bit up John Street.
You are not there.
And here is Mercer Street. We'll see if this hotel is open yet. See the twin towers there. I think this is the residences on this side. Got some new retail or restaurants coming here. Looks like a restaurant. They preserved these old historic buildings when they constructed the new towers. Or the facades of them at least. Got And I guess here's the entrance to the hotel. I don't know, it doesn't look open to me. Bad timing for them, I guess. But they did a good job. The heritage preservation here. The buildings themselves, the new towers, have gotten quite a lot of criticism. Not living up to their renderings, but I think they look decent enough. At least they're not blue or green glass, like many of the other towers that have gone up in this neighborhood. Robert De Niro. He was at the groundbreaking of this development 5 years ago or so. It looks like it's bound to open at any time though. And this used to be where the second city was located. But they had to relocate to make way for this new building, which is also just wrapping up construction. That's just a residential tower. Got flagship retail available on the corner here. This is where Wayne Gretzky's restaurant was located for many years. Maybe another fun restaurant will move into that space. And another upscale hotel right across the street. We have the Bisha. And it's also a residential tower, 2-in-1. This is Peter Street. And the Sutton Place Hotel has recently opened here on this corner. It's another 2-tower complex. The Sutton Place used to be located on Bay Street for decades until that building was redeveloped and converted into a condo building. And they actually added additional stories on top. You wouldn't recognize it now compared to how it looked when it was the old Sutton Place. Here's King Street. Got some new signage up here. The Sutton Place Hotel, they preserved this old warehouse building, or the facades anyway. So I guess this is the entrance now to the hotel. And we have a nice restaurant here also. And there's another tower. That is a condo. I'm not sure if this new Sutton Place is pretty much the same sort of experience you would have gotten with the previous Sutton Place or not. At one time that was considered one of the
Do you have a bag?
more upscale hotels in the city back when it was first constructed. I think that's in the late 1960s. So here's Peter Street. More towers are on the rise.
But she wasn't like, oh, she was like, oh, I think you're probably
Alright.
not going to live with me anymore. And I was like, yeah.
I just recently walked down Peter Street in another video, so maybe I'll head over to Charlotte Street. I also walked along this part of King Street in another video, but that was on the other side of the street. So at least it looks a bit different this time. And you cannot avoid this construction scaffolding if you're walking through downtown Toronto. Every block has at least one section of this, it seems. Spadina Avenue just right up ahead. This is Charlotte Street, it's just a short street. This is Adelaide Street coming up. Lots of these interesting older brick warehouse style buildings all throughout this neighborhood. Some of them also were former factories. That's why this is one of my favorite parts of downtown. And even with all the development, with new towers in the area, most of these older buildings have been at least preserved in some form. If a tower is being built on the same location, oftentimes a facadism type situation. I think this is another hotel here. I think this is a more budget hotel. And yes, we are in Toronto, despite what that sign might say. Although this part of downtown could probably pass for some parts of Manhattan. So we're back on Peter Street. The Reverie, I think that's the name of this hotel. It used to have a different branding though. I think it's a bit more upscale now than it used to be. I'm trying to remember what it was before. It was something like a Days Inn or, you know, something like that. Maybe not exactly that, but something along those lines anyway. All right, I'm gonna head north up to Richmond. cool shot. This old townhome here obviously has seen better days. It's part of a redevelopment proposal for yet another new tower, which will be rising. And I think there were plans to preserve the old townhouse and incorporate it into the development. Still no movement on this project though. It's sort of been in limbo for quite a number of years. And this building also is included. And more awesome old brick warehouse style buildings on Richmond Street here. This one has been incorporated into this office development. Another block to the north is Queen Street, but I don't really consider Queen Street north of here to be part of the neighborhood. It's sort of like its own thing. Everyone just calls that Queen West. This is Picasso. I'm quite fond of this condo building also for its quirky design and kind of interesting use of color. It stands out in the neighborhood, as I mentioned, due to the many towers here that are basically just green or blue glass. Anything different is good. All right, let's head down here. I think this is Mercer Street. We'll check out some of these side streets. Since I often walk along the main streets, such as Richmond, Adelaide, King, I don't often go down these ones. This building was just completed. See an awesome fire escape on the back side of this nice older one.
What was it? I think it was just like in a I really didn't want to move.
And I quite like how the view south here is terminated at King Street with that new tower. That also is a brand new one. Maybe we'll head down to King Street. It'd be kind of silly to walk through the entertainment district and not check out at least part of King Street. We did already check out a very small section earlier. We'll walk through the main area here at Restaurant Row. Slow-moving traffic makes it hard to cross the street. I think it's time to go. It's either go or you'll wait forever. So you can see they've preserved these old townhouses. They look like they're preserved in their entirety too, not just the facades. And they spruced them up. They're a lot more run down looking before this development. I think it's good that they can keep the sort of history here. Development opportunity. I wonder if that includes this funny little single-story store that's on this location here. I wonder if its days are numbered. All right, back to King Street. There's Restaurant Row. It's sort of like the heart of the neighborhood. And these storefronts were also facadized when they built that new tower. But now there's new spaces available at the base that hopefully will fill up with more restaurants, because I think Restaurant Row got shortened for a good number of years when they built this tower. Some people were thinking Restaurant Row was going to meet its demise, but it looks like it survived. It also survived the lockdowns, which was also something people questioned, whether or not it would last through that. TIFF Shop pop-up. TIFF is Toronto International Film Festival. Of course, that took place already earlier in September. But this building here that we're walking past is the headquarters of the festival, the TIFF Lightbox, the TIFF Shop. There are some theaters inside, screening some movies. And they do that all year round, not just during festival time. You can catch some good art house movies, other movies that you might not be able to see at a more conventional theater. And I'm surrounded by music on both sides of the street here, from She Who Shall Not Be Named. It's completely taken over the city over the last couple of weeks. And I'm kind of glad that tonight is the last night of the tour. And then she ships off across the country to Vancouver, and they can deal with all this. So I hope they have fun out in Vancouver.
We needed 5 seconds to spare.
So we'll take a walk past a couple of the theaters here. This is the Princess of Wales Theatre. Looks like they have The Lion King. And Canada's Walk of Fame begins here also. Very much like the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So this one obviously only has Canadians, and you'd be surprised how many famous Canadians there are. This Walk of Fame extends for quite a ways on both sides of the street, and even along at least one cross street. Gordon Lightfoot, Bryan Adams, Anne Murray. We've got some musical stars here. And the Royal Alex Theatre is just on the other side of this construction site. New skyscraper rising here. This will be a Frank Gehry Tower, the first of a 2-tower development called Forma. The taller of the 2 towers will be a super tall, which means it's over 300 meters in height. But that's phase 2. Phase 1 here will be slightly shorter, but still very tall. Phase 1 will be easily the new tallest tower in the neighborhood, and then phase 2 will be quite a bit taller than that. So there's the Royal Alex. To clear my throat. Come From Away is playing there. And this is David Pico Square, and Roy Thompson Hall again from the other side. And we saw the Ritz-Carlton earlier, now you can get a better look at it. famous Canadians here. Jeff Healey, Haley Wickenheiser, Rachel McAdams, The Band, The Guess Who, Michael Bublé. Several years ago, I did a video walking through the Canadian Walk of Fame where I showed, I think, the whole thing, if you're kind of curious to see who all is included. All right, let's go back north here on Duncan Street. I think they call this Ed Mirvish Way for a block or two. And I think phase 2 of the Forma development will take place on this side. And this old building, I think, will be demolished, I think. As well as its neighbor there. You could tell that guy had no idea where he was going. He was looking up the street, wondering whether he should turn or not. So there's a rendering of the new development with the two towers. So the shorter one is under construction now. And it might be a few years before the taller phase begins construction. If you're familiar with Frank Gehry, you know his skyscraper designs are very much not the norm, and these will stand out in the city in a very big way. Probably nothing like them has been built or will be built afterwards. And this is Pearl Street. The street is lined with nice old brick warehouse buildings. Goes up to Queen Street. But I think I'll avoid walking north there due to that music I can hear blasting. So let's take Pearl Street. This is kind of an interesting little quiet street in between the two busier streets. That's the Shangri-La Hotel, another luxury hotel there. It's definitely sort of included in this neighborhood. Sort of on the very eastern edge of it. But straight ahead you can see the financial district. That's considered a different neighborhood. Simcoe. Let's cross Simcoe. We got a couple of people about to take a ride here, probably on their way to the concert. He's all decked out, Swiftie style. All right, so we'll just continue over to University Avenue. I think this will be a good place to wrap up the video on the boundary between the financial district and the former entertainment district. I can't seem to bring myself to call it West Downtown or Downtown West or whatever, which one it is. North on University. So I hope you enjoyed the walk around the entertainment district, as I'll continue to call it for now. Checked out a number of hotels in the area and some of the side streets, as well as a couple of the main drags. Lots of new towers still rising or about to rise. One of my favorite downtown neighborhoods, as I mentioned. So I hope you enjoyed the walk. Leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my Mercer store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can also find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.